I'm Roger Stone, and you're at InfoWars, the right place to get the bare-fisted truth. This week, I had occasion to travel to Las Vegas, Nevada, to speak at a very important rally called STAND, which meant we stood for justice for the Bundy family. Now, because of an absence of mainstream media coverage, many Americans don't know the story of Cliven Bundy and his family, but they are ranchers, among the last ranchers on federal land, or land held by the federal government, in Clark County, Nevada. And when rancher Bundy became behind in his payments to the government, well, rather than being contacted by a government lawyer, the government launched a Waco-style assault on his ranch in Nevada. This, in turn, inflamed the feelings of patriots from surrounding states, including Nevada, who know that all the way back to the Federalist Papers, the states were to regulate the use of the land, and that 80% of the land in Nevada now belongs to the federal government and is managed by the Bureau of Land Management. In any event, the reaction and the many citizens who went to the standoff in Bunkerville, where federal snipers and troops aided by the FBI had the Bundy family, men, women, and children, under siege, they were subsequently arrested, protesters these are, for their presence to support the Bundys. Many of them were brandishing arms, as was their legal right. These were licensed firearms. And the only known gunplay seems to have come from the federal government. In any event, what has happened now is what brought my attention to this case. It is the conduct of the government after the siege of Bunkerville. First of all, the Clark County Sheriff assured the Bundy family that the feds were standing down and the matter would be adjudicated in a peaceful manner. That was minutes before the Waco-style assault on the Bundy ranch, and before snipers had the Bundy children in their scope site. In fact, however, the government now has held at least 18 men, 17 supporters of the Bundys, and one journalist, Pete Pastilli, without trial release or pre-trial release, shackled together. And in court, Judge Gloria Navarro, a protege and appointee and handpicked federal judge of the notoriously corrupt Harry Reid, has systematically denied not only the Bundys, but their supporters due process. There are people under indictment for murder in this jurisdiction who have obtained pretrial release. Now, 18 months later, these men are still incarcerated in an effort to squeeze them. They are shackled together. They are not allowed to have to speak among themselves. Even conversation and communication among their lawyers is limited. The judge has ruled out a First Amendment defense. The judge has ruled out a Second Amendment defense. The judge has ruled out a Fourth Amendment offense. Cliven Bundy himself is not allowed to choose his own attorney, nor are the defendants allowed to question any action whatsoever by the Bureau of Land Management or the FBI, either before, during, or after the siege. This is a kangaroo court. This is a fraud upon the American people. This is not what we had in mind. Now, when I was in Nevada, I met many fine people with many strong opinions about this case. One night at dinner, one patriot said, you know, the way to solve this is to get 300 carefully selected and heavily armed men lay siege to the courthouse, kill the judge, kill the prosecutors, and save the Bundys. Believe me, that is exactly the wrong thing to do. I denounce a violence or more gunplay or more bloodshed to solve this problem. That is not the answer, in my view. There is an answer, and I'd like to show you what I said at Saturday's rally, if we could run that. I have known Donald Trump, the President of the United States, for 40 years. He is a just man. He is a decent man. He is an honest man. He is a compassionate man. He is a believer in the U.S. Constitution. He answers only to the American people, not to the two-party duopoly that has run this country into the ground. And therefore, I appeal to the President, review this case in the name of justice, in the name of mercy, in the name of fairness. Pardon every member of the Bundy family and their supporters, and do it now. We will be posting a petition at NoWorldOrder.com and at StoneColdTruth.com. So I go on to say that we're going to be posting a petition at Infowars.com, which will be coming up imminently, addressed to the President, respectfully asking him to review this case and to issue a pardon for the Bundys and their supporters, and particularly for a journalist, Pete Pastilli, who is only in jail today because he was asking questions that embarrass the government. He's accused of brandishing a gun. No, my friends, he was brandishing a microphone. When the government starts locking up journalists because they ask inconvenient questions, we have reached a slippery slope.